Life is a great mystery. Great and older the man of the mystery. And we're riding here and many ways to live and so many ways to die. So many ways to go about this whole human enterprise. But there's more to life than just human beings. And human beings, they have their ways. They have their ways and some of them pretty evil on them. And comparing us to these creatures, the birds and that sort of stuff, I mean, we struggle for things to say and we struggle for things to pray and we struggle for things to pay. We always have to get back home, and if we don't have a home, we just fret about it. Birds, on the other hand, well, I guess some of them build nests and this sort of stuff. And in the raining times, in the rains of the times, in the times of the rains, some of them even become a little suicidal there. I don't know if any birds that fly against the windows, you don't know those birds that just crash to the window. I don't know if they did it by accident or did they do it just out of self-destructiveness, or depressed birds. I don't know, but life is such a mystery, and some of us, we adopt these ways that are very, honest, in our own opinion at least, that we are the honest types. And I don't know how honest the whole of human life is, and sometimes men like me, like men of big stature, yeah, I'm just kidding there. I mean, we fret about where we are and think that life that we live, how we dress and how we talk and how we just are and what we own and all that doesn't really reflect our maybe value of how important we are. We are very important for ourselves. And in the grand scope of things, for example, if you ever had teeth pain or tooth pain, and I actually checked it out on the Japanese dictionary, what the word means in Japanese. Even Japanese have teeth pain, so it's kind of universally spread. I can't remember what it meant there, but anyway, look at it like on this grand scope of like an universal century type of a building Gundams type of a worldview scheme or scope, and you realize that holy shit my boy, like in the stars and the universe out there, your teeth are like this, they're smaller than the speck of dust on your computer fan, on the grand scope of things. But then when you kind of look at it, when you're suffering from teeth pain, it almost becomes the only thing that you can pay attention to. It almost becomes the only thing in the whole existence, your pain. And it's kind of funny how our subjective experience can hold that much value. I mean, hold that much meaning and take so much experiential space from us. So I think that that's one of the reasons why we value also something so much. It's in our own experience so grand. But then again, you think about some drug addicts that shoot up heroin and this sort of stuff. It's the whole of their experience becomes this like whole encompassing type of cocoon of an experience, which they have described in some documentaries. I have no experience of myself, which I'm glad of. And I think that's a testimony to the same, that human beings can't tap out of their own experience. It's very rare that some can. It's very rare that you can even question it. But if you can, it's a great way to explain away a lot of this gripe to any creator of this. Like if you believe in God and you hate God because God created me to suffer this. But when you look at it, for example, like the teeth pain, the tooth pain, it's such a minuscule speck of dust that sends out such a strong signal. Or maybe the signal is not even that strong, but it gets kind of magnified. Kind of like when you have recorded something on your computer with an external microphone, and you get this audio form, the waveform there. And if you boost that signal, if you just take it up to a notch, if you make it a little bit louder, increase the decibels on that, it's kind of the same that is probably happening with a lot of pain that we have. The receiver end is kind of magnifying that, the receiving end, but the signal itself is very weak. It's very kind of silent, that it's almost kind of like a mosquito, and you have to kind of bring it out from there. And when we sleep, when we dream, this sort of pain, it kind of loses its whole, it kind of loses its amplification there, and we lose sight of it, we lose track of it. And if in this life even we can have these two states, we can have the state of sleep and we have the waking state. There's probably more states. There's the above wake and all that. But imagine how many states there is in afterlife. After this life, how many different facets of being dead there is. I mean, it's probably when we have two-story homes. This is two-story thing over here. This is like life, but when we pass on, it might be like 8 levels. It might be like skyscraper levels there. There might be so many levels to that. When in our state, there's only that. And if in the dream state we lose our experience of pain, or we can experience some weird pain that we don't experience in the waking state, it's kind of a testimony to the fact that these experiences are not so concrete. They're reliant on our own state, which state we are in, for us to receive that. And you can even start to question, is there even a sender of this? Or is it just part of the state, the pain? I mean, I'm in a painful state. Yeah. I think that's one of the most interesting questions over here about this life, and it's a big mystery. And we might be able to figure it out. And we should try to figure it out. Is there more to this life than what I'm experiencing right now? Why is the waking consciousness, the waking world, such mundane for me? And why is it that I can't tap into other lives? I mean, even if they make YouTube videos, I can use my computer. Just look at there. What is happening right there? Well, I don't deem that very worthwhile and exciting. I'm gonna watch this instead. There's some booty and ass over here. Type of shit. Just realize this. When you place too much importance on your own experiential, I mean your sensory experience, like as the Buddha said, the sensory experience, it's a world of unsatisfaction. And I fall into this trap many times because I don't really know if I would be taken to a place of grand and splendor, I mean luxury. I would probably do better. I mean, I would probably feel better. But that's only my guess. There have been those people that have suffered a lot in places that are splendidly grand. And it's funny that they exist on the same plane of reality. And on this plane of reality we struggle for resources. Maybe to get there. We fight over stuff. In our waking state of consciousness, we kind of exist on the same world realm. Maybe we have our private heavens. Maybe Christians don't even share a heaven. Maybe they have their private heavens. How would you come to the fact of this, that this is our shared world. Why? Well, you can ask other people, do you really see me? And they just, yeah. And most don't. Of course, you might just go psychotic on it. This kind of solipsistic worldview. And it's a kind of a vacation to go psychotic on it. That, yeah, I'm the revolving, like, the pinnacle of this. If I die, everybody else dies with me type of a worldview. You can adopt this type of a worldview and start to think twice to reverse it around. I'm exactly living this kind of a mundane type of life where it seems that I'm not important at all because I'm the most important thing. I mean, it's a kind of charade. Because if I was the most important thing, it would be a risk for the whole of existence. It would crumble with me if I went down on it. You can explain it away like this. You can think all kinds of thoughts. And sometimes you can even believe those thoughts. Take a couple of compounds of great visionary quality and start believing all your thoughts. I mean, the aliens are gonna come and get me, you know. They're gonna take me to the United States. I'm gonna meet the president and he's gonna reveal that he's a reptilian or something like this. I mean, you can start to believe all kinds of stuff. But there's different ways that you can believe in it. Like dreams. At which point you lose the sight that you're imagining or just seeing it. At which point do you lose that side of it? And why is it that we cannot wake out of this? We can only fall asleep from this. Or that's how we actually just conceptualize the whole issue over here. I don't know. But with your own mind, just have this discernment. There in the Bible it says that out of his mouth came like a sword that split the world in two or something like this. Whatever it means. The sword of discernment. And it means that when you have any kind of belief, you can discern through it. But this requires a certain state of consciousness that can actually go asleep. That can actually just disappear from your ability to use it. And under that, there's a much more fundamental type of deep level of experience. And a lot of this love, you lose sight of because of all this discerning of what's real out there and what's not, what to believe and what not. You lose sight of a lot of love because this state that we suffer from great a lot. And so we are cut like thrown out of the paradise. Thrown out of the paradise, we are kind of cut from that God and their love. And some say we're gonna return to that. I might say that we have never lived there. But it's very hard to experience it like that because there's so much more stuff to experience. Like, for example, just the pain. And it's not the same. Yeah. That's it for today. I hope that you at least didn't suffer from this speech.